Welcome back, everyone. We are here ready to go over the 16th Sunday after Pentecost Communion, Domino memorabor. This is for the extraordinary form of the Mass, and yeah, we're going to go over the Gregorian chants. So thank you for joining me, either live or later on in the week when this is just saves up on YouTube. So yeah, and without further ado, let's get into it. All right. Click that subscribe, ring that bell, so you know when I go live and stuff. So Domine memorabor. We are here in the GABC Chant Tools app online, right? And it's a mode 8. So this week is modes the later modes, right? And it's kind of a beautiful one. And something interesting happens in mode 8. So modern people think that, well, at least some of them, the key that's closest to C major is the dominant or the, subdominant, maybe, because only one sharper flat difference. That's not how medieval people thought. The closest mode to mode 8, if you add this tear here, is mode 1. Because adding that tear makes this mode 1. So you have mode 8. You change that B, the hard B, to a B flat. And that's Dorian. Mode 1. So we're in mode 1. So it kind of is interesting to me, at least, that we would think that mode 1 and mode 8 are really far apart. But with that little tiny shift, you get exactly mode 1. And that's because the modes are arranged by fifths. We'll talk about that in another video. But there's darker to light. And there's a reason why we don't have Aeolian and we don't have Ionian or major minor in the other way, minor major, in Gregorian chant style, because you can get them by using the modes just to either side of the major and the minor, if you look at that. So that's a different video. I don't know why I talked about that. Oh, because there's a flat. So as you probably guessed, we're going to sing through this, and as I think of things, I will mention them. And so I can't mention everything in one video, but hopefully we'll get a lot of it. And the most important thing for me is to have you guys hear it and see my hand moving, so you know what the rhythm sounds like, because that's the kind of most opaque part of chant. And that's because we've learned to kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever. 5 rarely, but because in modern music, rhythm's very set for the song, in general. But then going backwards to modes and Gregorian chant, the rhythm's very flexible and prosaic, right? Prosaic meaning from prose, where it doesn't follow a upbeat, downbeat kind of thing. The neumes are grouped together a little differently than we would think, so it's a little bit of a different way of looking at the music. So let's start singing. We're going to do this in our typical key for our parish, starting with the final on F. Means our first note is E flat. So F major with an E flat and B flat, quote unquote. So Domine. That's so cool. I mean, if you can't appreciate that, then why are you doing it? But there's a lot of complexity in there. You can really get into that entrance, and whoever sings that is it's like 5 notes. But Domine, or Domine, or Domine. Those are 3 different ways of doing it, right? You could also go Domine or Domine. There's so many different ways of doing it. You have to pick one. I believe the way this is written, I like to hold out that first note. and then kind of taper off the other two notes. So it's a growing and tapering off, right? Domine. Let's keep going. Memorabor. There's that kind of mode 1 feel, right? Memorabor justitiae tuae solius. Apologize about the vocal fry there on the E sol. But it's really cool. It has this low, kind of darker feel. And then all of a sudden, solius goes and brightens, right? Solius Deus tocoisti me. Tuning there is really hard. Docoisti me. Singing that in slow motion can really help get those. I slowed down there because that's like extra bandwidth is needed to appreciate that jump in change in direction. I don't know why I always think of it as higher, or I want to do something higher. Estime, something like that, but that's wrong. That's wrong. Don't do that. It's Deus docoisti me. A lot more low, right? The key to getting that right, is to think of the final. If you have that kind of trained in your mind, almost like a little drone, you're not going to mess it. Let's see. If it sounds okay, let's do... Maybe strings would be best. Deus tocoisti me. Again, get down to it. So that's the idea. Is mentally you're thinking of what the strings were just doing, and you kind of come down to it. I don't recommend doing that all the time, like playing the note, but you can if you have a really nice sound. Guitar is nice. If you and pluck a guitar string every so often, it can really help you sing along with it. There's a great book, I've referenced it before, where the majority of the book is you experience what harmony is by singing against a drone, and it really helps. Like my ear developed a lot, and it took me many years to do that book, but I stuck with it and did it. So let's hear that Deus docoisti me one more time and keep going. Because from my youth, even until my old age and my senility, so when I'm old and senile, and until I'm old and senile, literally, is what it says, senectam et senium. So, and you'll hear how the contrast is. It's interesting. Juventute is kind of trippy. And then senectam et senium is kind of like, and kind of like old man grumbly. It's just kind of cool. Little tone painting here. So Deus. Deus docoisti me, aiuventute mea, et in senectam et senium. Grumbly old man. Deus ne dere linquas me. So let's go back over that. The mea, so sweet and like emotional. That's like youth. Youth have a lot of emotions that just kind of fly everywhere. And then in your old age, you're more even-keeled. And I would say you still have great emotion when you're old. I know a lot of elderly people and people who are wearing it really well. And man, they have really deep passions. I think the youth exhibit their passions all the time. Passions in the sense of emotions, right? And they're like excited about this, excited about that, and this is exciting. And there's kind of a energy to that. But the old don't show that, and you can think, oh, they're just tired. But their emotions are so deep because those emotions have been on the same thing for many years, so they're very deep. So I love that complexity that is in the music here, where you have this kind of heartstring pull, and then very grounded senectam et senium, and it's almost like, yeah, I'm gonna get senile. It's kind of that's hard to think about. Like, I could lose my mind at the end of my life, but the Lord will teach me from my youth even until I'm old and senile. He'll teach me. Dokuisti me, teach me. Lord, do not relinquish me, right? We have to pray these prayers because we have to be confident that God will teach us even when we're old and senile. Like, that's part of his plan. And there's a really cool book, and I saw the title of it once in a spiritual library at an abbey. It said, Holiness and Insanity. And it was kind of a psychologist talking about how basically people who are insane or exhibit like schizophrenia or different psychological illnesses can still be very holy, and it has, like, this is where that's founded from, right? Teach me even when I've lost my mind, senile, when I've forgotten everything. So there you go, a little memento mori right now in singing your chants. So preparing for Sunday, but that's what it's all about, being Catholic. We don't forget that we're going to be, passing away. Not in this life. Et usque. Let's do the et usque in senectam et senium, and then we'll finish that off on that high note, right? Et usque. I love that. It feels like usque. It's like until. It just kind of keeps going. I love that. Et usque in senectam et senium Deus ne te. Now, it's important here on these triads, sound like triads. Modern people will go ne te. I think of like a Molly obladi oblada. So but it's not, right? That's not the phrasing. It's ne te. The middle note gets the accent, or the emphasis, I should say, rather, because you have the vertical epizema there, and that's what that's for. It's to remind you, hey, pay attention. Do they need that vertical epizema? I don't think so, because it actually is shaped that way, right? They could have done it the other way, where these were connected, and then the top note was not. They could have, but they didn't. They did. In a sense, this bottom note is auxiliary to these. So it could be like that. That's not how it is, right? So you kind of add this auxiliary note. There's how it sounds, right? With that auxiliary note kind of tied to the meat right here. You have this kind of auxiliary ornamented note to our minor third going up. And then quasme. Let's sing from the beginning, the whole thing, and then we'll call that a communion. It's a really beautiful communion song. There's a lot packed in here, starting on E flat. Domine memorabor justitiae tuae solius Deus docoisti me aiuventur mea, et usque in senectam, et senium Deus ne terre linguas me. Ah, I love that. That's so beautiful. This is why I do chant. Gorgeous. Thank you. That was the communion. Thank you for joining me. If you've made it to the end, thank you for following all the way to the end of the video. And God bless you. For all those who subscribe, I keep you in my prayers every day. I pray for my subscribers. It's kind of interesting. Very modern thing to do. Yeah. And God bless you. Happy chanting. And we'll see you in the very last video of this week. We're going to go over the gradual and Alleluia, the Brevio style. And stay tuned for that.